Yeah, hello there and welcome to Good News with Chris Cashman. I am Chris Cashman. It'd be a little weird if I wasn't. I am an MSJ by trade, a multi-skilled journalist, which is a fancy way of saying I work alone. It's just me and you and my socially distanced camera over there, but the good news is we got through yet another unprecedented year, and we did it together. You had to rely upon your family, your neighbors, complete strangers, kids and pets often coming to the rescue. And that's what we're going to celebrate today, the good news. Like the fetching story that unfolded right here on our shores and caught the attention of the Today Show. Yeah, hi there, facing our fears today on the shores of Lake Sammamish. Hard to believe that the number one fear in America is still public speaking, more so than death itself. And not far behind, still on the podium, is the very real fear called trypanophobia. 1 in 5, or approximately 50 million people, are deathly afraid of needles. And perhaps it is those syringes that keep some people from wanting to consider the vaccine. But as the Vax team here in Sammamish will tell you, our fear of needles can't compete with our love of dogs.
Well, Wrigley's 4 years old. I got him when he was a pup. He's an awesome dog.
You know that?
It was so awesome. It was. I can't describe it, but it was just awesome to see a dog sit in front of a young man that was having trouble, and they both got on the same page and they comforted each other, and we were able to give that shot.
Whoa, my first maskless kiss in a year.
We've had about 15,000 people come through this site. There is definitely some vaccine hesitancy on some folks. Sometimes it's a very strong reaction, anxiety. We had an individual that came through and they were highly nervous, very anxious about getting this shot. I remembered that Lieutenant Dave Jones had one of his dogs here, Wrigley.
It was a brilliant, brilliant idea by Andrew.
Wrigley was in between his legs and we just started petting the dog together. And within 30 seconds, we were able to quickly administer the shot. The individual barely even noticed.
To have a dog who essentially helped me through a lifelong instinctual fear. Immediately, it probably took 2 seconds after I was in contact with Wrigley.
I think I've seen this a lot. I'm a military veteran myself, and I know I've had friends that are alive today just because of service animals.
Having that dog there was impossibly perfect for my situation and where I was.
Wrigley, the hero. Yeah, hello there from the Arlington Airport. Boy, what a special day to be here, and you're going to want to witness this as a number of organizations have come together, all volunteering their time, efforts, and resources for a very special mission that's just taken off.
Valley traffic, 422 Charlie Quebec, turning left downwind 34 full stop.
My name is Greg Bell. You know, usually I just try to have a hamburger or something, but this is better. It feels better. And we got, what do we have, gloves and gowns and hand sanitizer and disinfectant, all kinds of stuff. I got the light stuff.
So I'm Charlie Hicks. We're at the Arlington Airport, and we are running a DART mission along with the Emergency Volunteer Air Corps, and we are supporting getting food and PPE out to multiple Indian tribes that are in the area. Today, we are attempting to fly 36,000 pounds worth of cargo out.
We're loaded up. We're going to Darrington. We're going to unload in Darrington, come back for another load, and then go home to Bellingham with that load and unload in Bellingham.
All on your own time.
Oh, yeah.
These pilots are all volunteer pilots that are part of DART, which is the Disaster Air Response Team. And they're prepping for the big earthquake that is eventually coming.
I work with Northwest Disaster Search Dogs. I'm a volunteer for those guys. Everybody needs food and needs the PPE for what we're going through now, the pandemic. And so it's very nice that we can help support people to get the stuff out to the far reaches of Washington.
There are a lot of organizations involved that made this happen today.
Hi, my name is Fabi Pastor. I'm with Farmer Frog and the National Tribal Emergency Management Council. We've been feeding 2 million Washingtonians month to month and 3 million Americans month to month. Now we can get to communities that need the help the most. Being able to go by air now, we have a lot more opportunities available to us.
Well, hello there from soggy Bellevue, home to good news and lots of it, delivered daily to your inbox, courtesy of a 10-year-old. almost 11. 10, almost 11.
So my name's Arman Sinha. I'm 10 years old, almost 11, just a few months away from 11.
I thought, I gotta make sure I'm not being tricked here. Let's make sure he's really 10, almost 11.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw that you have a YouTube channel where you play video games.
Yep.
So I know you're really 10, almost 11.
Yep.
Tell us about your website.
It's called goodnewscoronavirus.com. It's an online destination for people who want positive, uplifting stories in this crazy world right now. And it already has more than 550 posts with viewers from over 20 countries. And I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and I hope that I keep spreading the good news for a long time.
How often do you post new stories?
Well, I post 3 news stories every weekday. I take 10 stories and I put them in a weekly newsletter and send them to the site subscribers.
So you've got 3 stories a day, you've got a newsletter on a website that you created, and you're definitely 10 years old.
Yep.
Almost 11.
Yeah. The entire thing was fun, but the part that gave me the most satisfaction is when I got like those clicks on my newsletter. Then I knew that people were actually taking in the good news and not just subscribing for the sake of subscribing. They were actually there and they wanted to take in the positive news.
And you're volunteering your time to do this every day?
Yeah, there's no money making involved whatsoever. It's just, I just want to make people happy.
So the website's Good News Coronavirus, news with a Z.
At first I wasn't going to put in the Z, but I thought the Z was cool, you know, because I am 10, almost 11.
That's right.
So I just put in the Z.
Well, hello there from the quaint and sleepy town of Eatonville, Washington. You might say it's socially distanced by nature, population just under 3,000 people, the kind of tiny town where your morning commute might be slow, or you could kick it into rabbit speed. All the more impressive that their local pharmacists, father and son, are being saluted by Pierce County and many of the local school districts for their heroic efforts during the vaccine rollout. What should we know about your dad?
He's an unstoppable force. He's been the mayor of Eatonville, president of the school board, president of Chamber of Commerce. So he's had his hands in a lot of stuff in a small community, and it's been very rewarding as a son growing up and a great role model.
Eric, come on back. Kirk, we're adding a new title to your impressive resume. Did you ever expect to be branded as a hometown hero?
I did not. We do what needs to be done. We go where we need to go. And I think the thing that sticks in my heart the most is a comment that Dr. Lowe, our local physician here in Eatonville for Multicare, commented is that I think she's only had to send 1 patient to the hospital for COVID, and she's not lost any of her patients. And I think that's what makes me feel good.
How'd the first one treat you, Eric?
Good.
Good? Excellent.
No problem with the first one.
It's a good sign. We'll keep that going for your second.
All right.
I also know you take pride and comfort in doing all this alongside your son.
He's been a huge part. I could not have done this without him, without our volunteers, the fire department, the school. When we do these large clinics, it's he and I organizing it and kind of running it. But without our nurses and everyone volunteering to come in and make an impact, make a change in the community, we couldn't have done it without them.
All right. You're all set, sir.
Perfect.
Throughout our company, over the last 6 months, we've administered, we probably surpassed 22,000 doses administered.
Wow.
That's the biggest thing I think I'll take away is just how impactful independent community pharmacy can be for their local community as well as a much broader county and state level.
It's a team effort. That's how I look at it.
Yes, hello there from Snohomish, where the amazing Jessica has been serving her friends on the street for a long time. All throughout the pandemic, the area's homeless would see her showing up with her own converted camper, the Coffee Camper, as it became known. And then she shared with the community what she wanted to do next. They rallied behind her, and today, it's a horse of a different color. Actually, it's a horse trailer of a different kind.
So this trailer that I'm standing in right now was 100% built by donations and people who donated their time.
Even the logo.
Even the logo.
Donated.
Everything, even the logo. It's awesome. Project Serve is just kind of like a little group that I created in 2016 to help people get connected with volunteer opportunities that I was personally doing. Basically, it's just a community outreach.
The symbolism, community powered and community funded, right?
Yes.
An old rusty trailer, forgotten about. It's amazing what happens if somebody gives it a little love, sort of like people.
Yeah. So we have Butterfinger brownies, we have more brownies, we have fresh zucchini bread. We give free coffee and treats to the homeless. So we just, it's just a way to show them that we care for them and that we're thinking of them.
You actually have a volunteer who says that her life was changed over the past few months.
So her PO officer saw the last story and she needed some community service hours. So she came out and she volunteered and she let me know a little bit about her story, that she used to be homeless, she lived in a car, and that she wants to go to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor. And she's just amazing out there because she can relate to people on the streets way better than I can.
Well, as the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water,
Yeah.
but you can't make him drink.
Yeah.
So.
Just the coffee camper, now the trailer, is it brings people out who can help other people.
Isn't she great? Amazing what can happen when selfless service gets together with community and meet in the middle. Stick around, more good news with Chris Cashman coming up. I'll just wait right here. It's okay, you can go to commercials. I'll wait right here. Well, hi there and welcome back to Good News with Chris Cashman. We are reflecting on the year that was and celebrating some of the good news stories that unfolded over 2021. There were a lot of them, if you know where to look, and I couldn't help but notice that so many of you caught fire on the internet. Social media became a life-changing outlet for a number of King 5 viewers, like the juggernaut you're about to meet from Whatcom County. Well, hello there from Bellingham. Actually, it's just steps away, and I'm going to take you with me for some perspective, a chance to break some stereotypes. For example, it's safe to assume that for any of you over the age of 50, you'll probably lose interest when I say two things: video games, TikTok. Well, I sure hope Tactical Grandma didn't hear you say that.
I'm Michelle Statham, aka Tactical Grandma.
They want me to put a hand cam on because they don't think I'm really playing.
So if I have this right, the quick backstory is that during the pandemic, you dusted off the PC and rekindled your love of video games.
And my son and my husband were like, well, you have a PC, you should stream. And I'm like, no one's gonna wanna watch me play. I'm like an old lady playing video games, and I'm like average at the games. And so I started playing and people started hanging out.
Some people started hanging out, yeah, about 600,000 on my last check on TikTok.
Yeah, it's insane. Probably one or two people in real life that actually come into my streams and are encouraging, because they just don't understand. They don't play video games. They don't understand it. They're like, people come and watch you play? People give you money? And I'm like, I know, weird, right?
For anybody who's skeptical, you're the real deal. You really are a grandma. I've seen your grandkids. They're taking a nap right now.
Yeah.
We're in their playground,
Yep.
but inside is where you do business every day.
Yep, every day.
You're gaming 40 plus hours a week.
Yes, I play mostly Call of Duty.
And you've even come up with catchphrases.
Yeah.
Get wrecked, nerd!
I like to say, no, we're just giving forehead kisses.
Grandma's giving forehead kisses.
Grandma's giving forehead kisses. It's taken off. We got some merch for it, so it's kind of fun.
Perhaps my favorite part of your story is that you've only been at this for about a year. You've become very successful, and you're streaming for causes like St. Jude.
So I was so excited that I could just spend my 4 hours this morning raising money for these kids and these families and just help out as much as we can.
Did you ever imagine that as a grandmother, you would find yourself in a space and time where you're playing video games professionally, raising money for pediatric cancer care?
No, never. I just want to be a place where these people can come and hang out, and we can hang out together and support each other, you know? I mean, I tell them when I'm going through hard days, and they're there for me. I'm just a grandma that likes to play video games.
Hey Chris, Tactical Grandma here. Just a little update on 2021. We were able to raise over $25,000 for various charities, from St. Jude's to Stack Up to a couple of local charities, including helping the victims of the recent flooding. We were invited to the Hollywood premiere of Call of Duty Vanguard. That was an amazing experience. We were just recently named by the Gamers as the top Facebook content creator of the year. So 2021 has been great, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what 2022 holds and what other charities we can get involved with.
Yeah, how's the saying go? Loved and hated, but never ignored. Sharks certainly fall into that category, whether you're fearful of them or you're fascinated by them. Just ask a local boy from Bellevue, Alex, in fact, a Lakeside High graduate whose shark encounter basically melted down TikTok. You're trending, Alex.
That was very bizarre, because there's no cell coverage out in the middle of the ocean, turns out. With this semester, I could either choose to do another semester of online college or try to do something a little more outside the box. So I started looking and found this program with Sea Education Association out in Woods Hole, Massachusetts that does science trips, science programs paired with a sailing component. So in my program, which is Marine Biodiversity and Conservation, we sail 6 weeks conducting research projects that we come up with, and it was probably 5 weeks into the trip, and we were off of Cape Cod, and I just decided to go up aloft that day, kind of spinning around looking, and something out of the corner of my eye, just a huge shadow in the water. Came right off our bow too.
If you're going to spend 6 weeks at sea for educational purposes, in my opinion, it's best to see a giant shark on your way back to shore.
Absolutely, I agree.
An overnight TikTok star, over 50 million views.
That was very bizarre because up until that point, I hadn't touched my phone for 5 weeks. Just it was turned off and stowed in my bunk. And once I was back on shore, I posted it, and that was just a big cartoon double take. Like, what? Really? No way. One of the things that's been a little sad about seeing this blow up so much is all the misconceptions about sharks and all the people being scared.
The student gets to become the teacher, Alex. What can you tell us about that shark?
Well, the basking shark, so it eats little krill and zooplankton, which means it won't be chomping on any humans. And I hope that the people who saw the video also are curious to learn more and curious to conserve what we have going forward.
Yeah, hi there from Everett. We are at Penny Creek Elementary School where a second grade teacher's mission to become a viral video star worked. In fact, he caught the attention of Ellen, all because of what he could do with this.
Hi there, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Sean Reich. I'm from Everett, Washington.
Hi, Sean.
And thanks.
I think the first time I saw it, I was 5. But I just remember it being really cool because you grab an apple, and kid mine, I just saw him grabbing an apple, and all of a sudden it was in 2. Okay, so I learned it back when my dad taught me it. So when I was a kid, he just, it was one of the things we grew up, and whenever we were eating apples, he would always just do it. And I was always kind of curious about it, and then he just made it a point to teach me. Me and my sister were really we wanted to go viral over the summer. And I kept putting up some videos of my kids and me on my one wheel, and it was just like, yeah, a couple hundred views, sweet, all right, cool, moving on. Never really thought anything else, like, cool.
So every year I teach my students something that I learned when I was a kid, and that's that you can break open an apple with your hand.
So the kids didn't know who Ellen was, which was really fun to try to figure out. But I'm trying to explain to them, like, it's a TV show.
Why do I have one, Joel?
They got to see me and Ellen exchange, and it was really real for them. For me, it was kind of like why I got into teaching. I like hearing the aha moment or the whoa, that's really something I've never seen before moment.
I've been doing this for a while, so it's pretty.
It's not about strength, it's about leverage and finding the right spot and hinge it open on that bottom part. Grip it and rip it. Close the can together, and you just pull it apart.
I don't know how you did that.
And if you don't get it, rotate. Oh, there you go. Yeah, see.
Oh, yeah. My goodness.
Almost all my teaching team has gotten it. There's one that's still trying.
I did it!
They like it. It's a fun new skill.
He did
5 out of 5.
How much fun is that? And I know you want to give it a try. It can be done. I have taught the apple trick to at least one other person successfully. It truly is technique over strength. Give it a try. And go nowhere, more good news coming up. We've got some heartwarming stories, and I will reveal the truth behind the impressive award that we won together, you and I. That's coming up right here on Good News. And welcome back to Good News. I am Chris Cashman, looking back at 2021, a tough year, on the heels of a tough year. But there were plenty of good news stories if you know where to look. We take a turn now for the heartwarming stories of comfort coming from the most unlikely of places. Yeah, hello there. The city of Kent's going big today. It all started as a simple social media post. Kent police turning to the community asking for your support in helping some kids in a tough spot. And boy, did you deliver.
My name is Jared Kasner. I'm Assistant Chief with City of Kent Police Department.
Pretty special day.
Yeah, not only with the nice weather, but back on February 3rd, our officers were dispatched to some abandoned kids. And in the middle of the night, trying to find services for them, there's a delay at times as we wait for Child Protective Services and things like that. So they brought them down to our station, which is a safe, warm place. Officers bought them some food. We found them some blankets that we did have around the station, but that gave us, an opportunity to ask the community for some help.
Obviously, there's a huge sense of community pride here as what started as a social media post to educate the public about some of these harsh realities. Then you give them the opportunity to help, and today, be careful what you wish for, is underway as that room is packed with donations.
As you can see, an overwhelming response. The benefits of this event that we had this morning, even though we had it just for a couple hours, the multitude of generous donations that we got from not only individuals in the community, but businesses in the community, like IKEA. IKEA brought in mats for kids. Fred Myers on our East Hill brought some blankets down. The bins from Quanex, where their employees could donate, and then they brought them down. We're all here for the same goal. We're helping small children, we're helping people in need, and with the relationships and the generosity of the people in the community, we're able to accomplish it step by step. You don't need the thank you in person, but as they were dropping off blankets and coming to make contact with us, bringing their small children to hand us the blankets and saying thank you, it's just that added push to just keep you motivated and keep going to serve the community in which you signed up for.
Yeah, hi there. We have come to Bremerton today for a really powerful story. And I should warn you, this is about a very heavy topic, but I think you'll like how it ends. And this is a great perspective moment for all of us. There are people who have tough jobs, and then there are people who have truly tough jobs. Just ask the Kitsap County coroner.
There was a death of a baby on Saturday. My investigator called me back when she was heading back to the office, and she goes, "We just used the last of our baby blankets."
And when this call came, it was a no-brainer. Admittedly, I was a little nervous about visiting the coroner's office, and it was going to be a new one for me, but the need was, there was just no doubt.
So I reached out through Facebook to see if we could get some quilts. So this is what showed up.
Wow, they delivered.
They did.
Project Linus already has a blanketeer army.
We do. We have a big blanketeer army, and I put it out there for our members, but obviously it had already been out in Facebook. And our community, this is a wonderful community outreach, and obviously a lot of people wanted to help.
I had a baby brother who died when he was a month old. Yeah, I still almost cry or do cry when I think about my brother. He'd be 63 this year. But that's what spoke to me with this project, as I've thought about him. And
I look at these blankets and I see the faces of children that, I've met and had to say goodbye to. And I know I'm not the only one in the community that has had to say goodbye.
Wow. Wow.
I walked in the room and I cried because it's just that impactful, to have our community come together so quickly for our children.
Be careful what you wish for unfolded.
And it did, and this actually took a tragedy and turned it into a great rallying point for the community. What a wonderful thing.
And welcome back to Good News with Chris Cashman. We're looking back at the year that was and celebrating the good news stories that came out of 2021. Some special updates for you as well, like what unfolded at the Sammamish Animal Sanctuary. So many furry friends found their forever home at the Second Chance Ranch, as it is known, until an untimely fire about this time a year ago. But leave it to you viewers to get involved and fix the problem. This where it happened, Peanut? Right here? Everybody's okay now, though.
I'm Diane Gokul, and we are at Sammamish Animal Sanctuary. It's a sanctuary because if we see an animal that needs a new home, and whether it's being abused or neglected or just the last one of many, we just bring them in and give them a home and some good vet care and lots of love. And lots of visitors come here to visit and enjoy being around them.
This special story took a twist with the snow that surprised all of us, but you got a surprise knock on the door in the middle of the night.
Yes, it was the East Side Fire Department knocking on our door and telling us that our barn was burning down. And I looked out my window and whoa, it was just up in flames, just like a movie, I think. I was still half awake. But the first thing I did was check to count the animals that were in that shed that night, including Amelia and her friends.
All of the animals here have a very special story, but Amelia is a bit of a heartbreaker as a blind calf that's, 8 months old?
She's been here since she was just a couple weeks. We bottle fed her 3 times a day, which made her just so gentle and definitely a people's cow.
So fast forwarding a bit to the happy ending, you have a barn fire, all the animals are okay, you post about it on the internet, and in less than a day...
Man, my phone just going ding, 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 ding. All of a sudden, with less than 24 hours, we had the funds to rebuild Amelia's barn. Girl Scouts gave their cookie money. A little kid opened his piggy bank and gave everything he had. It's incredible. It really is. It's a story about the community much more than it is about our farm. And how much Amelia means to people who never get a chance to just hug a cow. Hey, Chris. I'm just sitting here hanging out with Amelia and her friends in her new beautiful barn. We're so grateful for this community who came together to build her a new home. She just loves it here, don't you, Amelia? Yeah, she loves it. And it's been especially great on these really cold nights when they all cuddle together, right, Delia? And enjoy the warmth. So we're really grateful to this community for all they've done for Sammamish Animal Sanctuary and particularly for Amelia. What's that, Amelia? Did you say? Oh, Amelia says thank you for her moo barn.
How special is that update? And I have another one for you in Redmond, where a local student used the pandemic to become an author of a cookbook and donated the proceeds to feed hungry kids.
So I kind of started writing the book about 4 years ago, and I was really inspired through my parents, who are very avid cooks, and I grew up around them in the kitchen. So I've always loved to bake, and then in high school I kind of learned to love to write. So I started working on all the recipes for about 1.5 years, and then we started the publishing process, and then it's finally printed. My mom, growing up, she's always been really involved in the community and giving back. So donating the proceeds to No Kid Hungry was a lot more beneficial and rewarding than keeping the money for myself, especially since it's a cookbook. It's like usually I'll always add in vanilla to things. I actually wrote my college essay on how food brings people together and how it connects people, and it's almost a different type of language and sort of deeper than words, because I think no matter what language you speak or the kind of person you are, anyone can come together around a table and share a meal. These recipes are very personal. I think there's a level of vulnerability when putting out this book, because there's so much of my life in it.
Looks cool. Like the real deal to me.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see it hard copy in front of me. Aside from giving back, I think it's really cool to be able to inspire young bakers. And then the book's gonna be released exclusively tomorrow in Seattle at QFC in all 59 stores.
Way to go, Sahana. And good news, the book is doing well. It is available everywhere online now. And in fact, she made another publication not long after this story aired. The rest of the country started to notice Sahana, and she was just named by People magazine as one of the girls changing the world in 2021.
I am Mercy Hobb, and we are at Shorewood High School.
Aren't you that Mercy I just saw on Ellen?
Yes, oh my gosh, how'd you know?
You get the call to appear on Ellen. You hope it's one of those episodes where she's just giving away cash and cars and TVs.
Oh my gosh.
You, however, were called because of your powerful story, the journey you've been on, and the great things you've done.
Well, yeah, it's been actually March 3rd of last year was the first time I was in the hospital with symptoms.
No one's prepared to hear that their kid has cancer. I mean, those are just devastating words to receive. And it just takes over everything. It consumes your life. Doug learned how to do at-home IV fluids, so we had to do that. He had to do that.
Like pumping fluid into your child's vein that goes right into her heart. Yeah, it really is one of those things you don't want to ever learn.
You're living proof that the universe works in mysterious ways. As a child wanting to be a cancer researcher, as a teenager, you're raising money for cancer research. Weeks after you raise a staggering amount of money, you start feeling sick and you get the worst possible news.
It was terrifying to hear the word lymphoma, but it was also definitely a relief to have something that we could identify as the source of the problem and then work on fixing it.
Then, Mercy, you became my favorite kind of influencer and you chronicled this whole experience on Instagram.
Yes, my nickname is Biba, and I used Biba Beats Blood Cancer as my handle, telling my story to hopefully, inspire someone, give someone hope.
So it was good news halfway through to hear, hey, it looks like we're on the right path. You're responding well, we're gonna stay with this treatment.
And here we are just a couple of weeks removed from your last round of chemotherapy, one you won't forget, I'm sure.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is not happening. Are they there for me? Just to see how many people were there, I realized that I had somehow had an impact on those people's lives, that they wanted to show up for me. After that, I was ready to kick cancer's butt for the last time, and then I would be done.
So we're witnessing your comeback tour right now.
Yes, heck yeah. Hey Chris, a lot has happened since I last talked to you. I got an internship at Fred Hutch, the workplace of my dreams. I was crowned homecoming queen, submitted my first college application, was a drum major and led my school through their marching band football season. And I got clean scans at my 6-month appointment. So bring it on 2022.
Yeah, hello there from beautiful Port Angeles. We're on the trestle here to the Olympic Discovery Trail. They are going to be hosting a marathon this weekend, and I have come to champion an amazing local lady, a participant, and if anybody deserves to kick back and take the weekend off, it would be Dana. She has a lot of real life excuses, but as you'll see, she makes none.
So I am a marine biologist by training, but I think that after I've been around the block for 48 years now, I really think of myself as a survivor of a lot of different types of trauma. I'm a survivor of cancer, a survivor of having my leg amputated, so I'm an amputee. I am also a survivor of domestic abuse. And I think we can all say now that if we're still here that we're survivors of the pandemic, because I think that has been very traumatic in one way, shape, or form for everyone.
The last year has been so hard for so many people for so many reasons. How are you able to be so tough?
Well, way back when I was just a wee little tot in my 20s, I came up with an idea of running a marathon, and this was long before I ever was diagnosed with cancer. What just started off initially as sort of a personal quest to do this marathon. Eventually, my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and so she said that she wanted to join me in doing a marathon, and then eventually my mom passed away from her type of cancer, and I made a promise to her on her deathbed that I would carry us both across the finish line.
So Stella's actually helping you get your groove back.
Yeah. I've just had this, kind of unfinished business. There have been times where I've been gravely disappointed when I needed to stop wearing my prosthesis in 2017 because my cancer in my hip and pelvis prevents me from wearing one. I thought for sure that was the end of the marathon journey, and really what ended up happening as I was able to heal and I found these awesome crutches, and what started off originally as a personal quest for me has now evolved into a purposeful mission to all of the different survivors, cancer, amputees, survivors of domestic abuse.
Symbolism, you say your mom's a butterfly now and we're suddenly surrounded by them.
Yeah, she's like, girl, we're gonna do this marathon. Hey Chris, it's Dana. I've been super busy since you last stopped by. When you visited, I was getting ready to do the North Olympic Discovery Marathon. Check, did that one, and that gave me so much empowerment, I decided to give backpacking a try this summer. So for the first time in over 20 years, and as an amputee, I did 2 overnight backpacking trips. One in the North Cascades, and then also all the way across the country in Maine, in Baxter State Park, and up to Mount Katahdin. It was an amazing summer. So over the winter, I've started to do CrossFit so that I can stay in shape and get ready for all of my next adventures next summer. So I hope to see you soon, and have a great holiday.
Yeah, hello there from Sodo. I've got my green and gold on for a little foreshadowing here. We are south of downtown, straddled by our sports stadiums, and in this area it's not uncommon to see your favorite teams, players, living legends being commemorated in many ways. It is, however, uncommon to see a sports fan being immortalized.
So today we're out here on First Avenue creating a mural in memoriam for Chris, the Sonics guy. You know, the guy who's always just at every event bringing the big, you know, Sonics energy and bringing back the Sonics. So anytime, you know, you do like a memorial project, it's a big deal. You know, and so I'm just trying to channel Chris's energy, really keeping it positive and keeping it super upbeat. And you know, as a fan, and for all the fans of Seattle sports and Sonics especially, my heart's in it, and so it's just a big deal because of what it would mean and what I hope it means to the city when it's done. You know,
Even in the black and white form, just driving by, I recognize my friend Chris. You're very talented at what you do.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'll tell you something, as soon as you start getting the eyes done and like the skin on and the face and it starts kind of coming 3D and starts popping out of the wall, it's a pretty exciting feeling.
This is amazing. You know, Chris deserves this. The heart and soul that he put into the city, walking everywhere with that sign out in Tacoma. I mean, he let people know we want the Sonics back, and we do. And now we're gonna get him back. You know, we're gonna get him back for Chris.
You know, these walls and this wall, especially with Chris, you know, it's a place for fans to come to feel that energy.
He'll be an angel in the seats, that's for sure. That's beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Oh, definitely a great tribute. Well deserved.
Good news, the mural is complete and it is beautiful. I hope you'll come give it a smile for yourself, a great fan and a good friend. Chris Brannon, immortalized here along First Avenue in Seattle. I've got more good news coming up. And welcome back. I'm Chris Cashman, going behind the scenes on some good news stories I've been able to share with you over the course of 2021. It was a tough year, full of obstacles, or as my friend Dana would say, opportunities. And overcoming adversity, that's something my friend Rachel can appreciate, becoming the first ever Teen Miss Washington USA contestant with Down syndrome.
Are you gonna be graduating with a tiara and a sash that says Miss Washington Teen USA?
I wish. Yeah.
I think so. It's all about the confidence, right?
Yeah, about the confidence.
There you go.
I'm Rachel Benson, and I'm entering in Miss Teen Washington. And I represent North Seattle. Is to show my talents.
I heard you have many of them.
Yeah. Like being a fashion designer.
Is that what you want to do? Is you want to be a fashion designer?
Yes, in my future.
You make your own dresses?
Yes.
You've got a lot of talent.
Thank you.
She is a loving and compassionate girl. Never an unkind word from her.
She doesn't see any limitations, you know, she just wants to try everything.
A million thoughts in my head. Should have let my heart keep listening.
We are so excited about Rachel's participation in our pageant because she is making history. Not only is she the first USA State contestant with Down syndrome competing in the Northwest under this system, but she's also the very first one competing virtually.
I see that you love to sing. Can you tell us one of your favorite songs?
Well, it's only from Descendants.
That's your concern for your kid with disability. Are they going to be accepted? And I just had confidence that she would be, and she was. I mean, the Zoom calls, all the support she got, it was fantastic.
Do you have a superpower?
Yeah, my superpower is to make new friends. And also loveness and kindness.
You already won, Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi there from Shelton, just outside of Skydive Kapowsin, to get up close and personal with the U.S. Army and the Golden Knights. The Jumpers are back in town. You might remember last summer when Seafair was on hold, they were kind enough to show up anyways and perform for our first responders. Well, this summer they are back with a unique opportunity. Soon we will be loading up Lady Liberty here with some of our educators, some lucky teachers preparing to take the leap of faith.
My name is Audrey Bellows. I'm an English teacher from Winlock High School. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm terrified, but anything that I can do to bring back more knowledge to my kids, I'm gonna do it.
Get the chance to do this, hometown, backyard is truly awesome. Tacoma, Washington, home, born and raised, love it. Graduated Wilson High School, 2002, home of the Rams, all right.
I'm Bethany Hudson, and I am an English teacher at Winlock High School. I'm mostly excited, a little bit nervous, because I am jumping out of an airplane.
How unique is it to jump with somebody?
It is very different. We take great deal of pride in ensuring that our passenger not only enjoys it, but is also comfortable throughout it, as well as comfortable as they can be while they're hurtling through the air at 120 miles an hour.
My students, when I told them about it, they said that I'm flexing. Apparently that's a term, so they're probably just gonna think that I'm flexing again.
Their term was, "Oh, you must be built different," which is apparently something that they say now.
I guess you're built to flex.
Built to flex. Look right there. I am excited to get back to the school year this coming fall because it's going to be so much more normal for our kids. I'm really excited to be able to share the opportunity with students.
The Golden Knight literally sent us soaring. It was so freeing.
Hello there from the Skagit Valley. We have come to celebrate the remarkable accomplishments of an inspiring young woman named Jessica, and she knows a thing or two about overcoming adversity. At birth, she suffered a couple of brain hemorrhages that led to cerebral palsy. She also has Down syndrome. Doctors told her mom that they didn't think she'd ever walk, probably never talk. But today we're catching up with Jessica, the college graduate, and she just won an award. You two have quite the unique story.
Yeah.
Couple of big shots on campus. One of you is graduated, the other is working on it.
Yeah.
Tell us about this extraordinary journey.
So she was born premature. Right away they told me that they were pretty sure that she had Down syndrome. You know, there were a lot of hurdles to overcome just to get her home. We had a vision and for her future, and we wanted others to see that. Lots of hospitalizations, lots of doctor's visits. How many rods are in your back?
28 screws.
28 screws. Yeah, 4 rods and 28 screws. It's a pretty big deal.
What are you holding right there?
My award.
Ooh.
Does it feel good to be back on campus?
Yes.
Yeah. They told me that you were never going to walk or talk, and here you are, a walking, talking miracle.
Yeah.
And a college graduate.
And a college graduate.
Yes.
Exactly. I think that most young people just take for granted that they could go to community college, they can go to university, but for individuals with developmental disabilities, those opportunities aren't there. This program here at Skagit Valley College is only one of 4 in the state, and the fact that we're here in kind of little Skagit County has just been such a blessing.
Oh, there you are.
We're just so excited because Jessica not only graduated from Skagit Valley College, but she is our 2021 Skagit Valley College Transforming Lives recipient. It's a huge award. We want to show that community college has a place for everyone.
Feeling like quite the rock star.
So you were on the radio, now you're on TV, birthdays next week, college graduate. I mean, this is the year of Jessica.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Love her story. And speaking of graduates, we take you now to the Fall City Fire Department. Surely you've heard stories about a child who follows in their parents' footsteps, but it is a unique story indeed when at 50 years of age, a father decides to shake it all up, accept a challenge, and follow in his son's footsteps.
I'm Parker McKinnon, and I'm John McKinnon. You know, through high school and stuff, Parker had become very interested in the fire service. His mom and I were chasing him all over the place with explorers and then through high school and things like that. So about 2018, we attended his graduation from the fire academy.
You got to pin him.
I did. I got to pin him. I had the opportunity to do it there. His mom did it at the station in Duval. And then afterwards, Parker came up to me and shook my hand, and inside there was a challenge coin and said, okay, I expect to see you in 2 years.
Growing up, you know, I always heard about him talking, you know, to pursue public service in some aspect, to go to fire explorers and all that stuff, and then watching me go through the process. You could tell he was almost enjoying it, maybe sometimes when I was getting my butt kicked more than I was. The amount of pride that he had in this, it was time for him to just follow his own footsteps in his heart to do the same thing.
So 2019, I started, running and getting exercise and the things I needed to do to pass the test.
So John, in 2020, this dream almost came true. You were hired by Bothell, you were training, then you were injured, and then COVID derailed everything.
So I carried this since he gave it to me. I really don't think he knows that. It got hard, and I didn't know why I got let go. Why my injury caught, why did I get hurt? I was right there. And then I had this, and then that day I texted him and said, hey, didn't make it. And he's like, well, that department might not be your department.
Might be surprising for people to know that upwards of 70% of our firefighters in this country are volunteers, and John, you are now one of them. Say go time?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can't script this.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys.
Thank you.
Be safe, guys.
You too.
Welcome back. I'm Chris Cashman. We are celebrating some of the good news stories of 2021, a year that left us all longing. We miss each other. We miss our favorite places. And that's why a local dad and daughter decided, hey, if we can't go to our favorite spots, let's bring them home and build them one brick at a time.
In the bookstore?
In the bookstore? Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do a little book. Somebody reading a book, maybe.
Hi, I'm Dottie Deegan, and this is Shane.
AKA Daddy. So Husky Stadium was your first custom creation.
Yep. Husky Stadium was the first thing that we designed ourselves and decided let's see what we can make. Let's see how big we can make it. Let's see if we can do it as photorealistic. We got to order more pieces. Eventually they actually ran out of purple, which is really funny. I was like, good thing I got the fancy seats done.
So you're responsible for that global purple Lego shortage.
Mm-hmm.
We're spending so much time, we live in Mukilteo, we're in a ferry town. My grandparents live in Kingston. We're going out to the San Juans all the time. We're like, we're on ferry boats, let's make one. Let's see how good we can do it. And that was the inspiration for this guy back here.
Mm-hmm. And I built the background.
Yeah, she built the background with all the clouds in the sky.
That's my favorite part. Good job.
Thanks.
Taking her to Everett Aqua Sox games, and I was inspired. Our third build, we did Pike Place Market. We thought, what's next for us and what's something that's very special to us? And my dad was a watercolor artist who sold his paintings in the Pike Place Market for his whole adult life. And so I grew up in the Pike Place Market, and we're like, this was the natural evolution of, if we're doing Seattle landmarks, this has got to come up next for us.
Even the gum wall gets its due.
Go all the way upstairs to Lowell's and see my dad's painting. My birthday is the license plate on the taxi cab, so if you're in Lowell's at the Pike Place Market, go take a look.
Obviously, you take your Legos pretty serious. You've got color-coded bins. I keep most of my Legos in our vacuum bag. Yes, hello there from the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley. A magical backdrop and fitting, as we're about to meet a real-life princess from North Bend. Or at least she meets all of the qualifications according to a reputable princess source. Disney hand-selecting a local mom as a part of their Magic Makers contest for her perseverance and unbelievable selfless service during the pandemic.
Good job, yep, do one of those.
How cool do your kids think you are now that you're a Disney princess?
My name actually means God's princess, so
Ooh,
there you go.
so it was written in the stars.
It was.
So Melissa, you nominated her.
Yes.
Sari is one of the most selfless people I know. She is always thinking about others. When the pandemic hit, she was able to provide masks and hand sanitizers to thousands of companies all over Washington. In our valley alone, she helps with the Backpacks program to provide food for children in the district who don't get that over the weekend.
We've done this program for a long time, and before the pandemic, it was maybe 170 kids a week throughout the school district. And last April, we were between 600 and 700 kids every single week. And that level has really stayed through the course of the pandemic.
And when school shut down, she went into power mode and was able to get even more bags packed.
Good job, Victoria.
You know, the saying is it takes a village. In this case, it took your family to cooperate because you were doing this out of your garage. They've been a part of this.
Yes, we had packages, donations, hand sanitizer, all of these things coming into our garage. So I helped organize and distribute like 1.5 million masks and hand sanitizer and supplies to businesses across the state.
You've also helped a ton of people with vaccine appointments.
It's not what I do on a normal basis, but we pivoted our whole company to say, let's just serve people.
What's next?
We're going to Disney World!
Well, the perfect Disney ending to our special. Good news. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'm Chris Cashman, and before I go, a special dedication as promised. For me, the highlight of 2021 came over the summer when I received this. You might recognize her. It is an Emmy for news reporting, for reporting your stories. You invited me into your communities, into your neighborhood, sometimes even into your home. Thank you so very much for letting me tell your stories. This is ours. Let's go get them in 2022. So long, everybody. You know what? Since this is ours, I'm going to keep it at my house just for safekeeping.